Good afternoon, beekeepers and bee enthusiasts. How you doing? It's another great day at the farm, and we're hanging out. It's beautiful weather outside right now. It's April. The skies are clear, and it's very warm outside. Perfect for catching swarms. And I was doing some mowing, and I went back and mowed around the area that we call the Violet Cove area. And there's a hive back there that I baited a few weeks ago. And as you saw in that clip at the start, there's a lot of bee activity going in and out of that hive. I'm not totally sure if it's a moved in colony yet or not, because there's a lot of bees flying on the outside, but it could definitely be a colony about to move in, or maybe they have moved in. We'll have to see over the next few days. But don't forget, you can catch bees in a main hive just as easily as you can catch them in a swarm trap. You know, we love catching them in the main hive because there's no transfer or anything to do afterwards. So it's really nice to catch them in a hive like that. So now, of course, today we have a great video for you planned today. And of course, we'll be talking about successful propagation through swarming. So you know how we are. We like to do things easy. We like to take a laid back look at how we keep bees. And part of that is how we handle expanding our colonies. And so a lot of people, what they will do is if a colony gets too big with too many bees, they will split the hive in half and basically form two hives out of it. And then they will go from there. But the way we like to do it is we like to let our bees swarm, and then we catch the swarms afterwards. We put up swarm traps everywhere, and it's just a lot easier for us that way. We don't have to disturb the bees as much, and we've just had a lot of fun with it. So it's going to be a great topic, and without further ado, let's break right into it. So I'm standing out here in the beautiful apple orchard. I love being out here because I like to see the bloom on all the trees. And it looks good, and I love seeing the pollinators out there doing their job. And remember, honeybees are not the only pollinators out there. There are lots of insects that pollinate, and it's good to see them all getting to work on these trees so the trees can bear fruit. So that's always a lot of fun. Now, what are we talking about today? Well, today we're talking about propagation through swarming. Now, if you didn't know, all honeybees will swarm at some point. And what a swarm is when the honeybee colony will split into a third or up to a half, and basically they will take their old queen and they will go look for a new place to live. So they will venture far out, they'll find a new place to call a hive, call it a day. And all honeybees swarm. It's just a part of what honeybees do, and this is how they reproduce on a colony level. Now, what a lot of beekeepers will do is, if they see a colony is about to swarm, they will basically go in and they will split the colony in half and form two hives to get around the honeybees from swarming. And they do this for the most part because they don't want that honeybee colony to swarm and send a colony of honeybees really far away, and then they lose track of that swarm, and then they just lost a fraction of their honeybee colony. Now, what do we do, and what does Lazutin teach in Keeping Bees with a Smile? And you know, I love that book. I tell people about it all the time, and you need to get it if you're getting started in beekeeping. But what Lazutin teaches us in that book is we have to take a laid back approach to this. And basically what we're going to do is, if our honeybees are about to swarm, we're not going to stop them from doing it. Instead, we're going to put swarm traps all over the place, and we're going to try to catch those swarms that come from our bee colonies. Now, that is basically what we do in our apiary. We have lots of colonies. I think we've got 10 active colonies right now. And we have swarm traps all over the place. I mean, all over the farm, we've got them. And we are just waiting for a new colony to move in. And it really is as easy as that. And yes, there is a chance that the colony could swarm and they could go somewhere else. That's perfectly fine. But remember, our style of beekeeping is low interaction, minimal disturbance, and we're letting the bees do what the bees want to do. And part of that is if they want to swarm, we are going to allow them to swarm. And then our viewpoint is hey, we're going to put up lots of swarm traps, so we'll have a good chance of catching that colony if they decide to split. Now, I totally understand people that split their hives to prevent swarming. You know, it's not a great thing having your bees leave your colony and then go and look somewhere else and they leave your apiary. You know, that's always unfortunate. So I do see where people are coming from when they choose to do that. But from our point of view, you know, I love watching swarms so much, and I think they're so fascinating that we've basically chosen to just let them do what they're going to do. We're not going to interfere with them. We're not going to get in the way. And I love watching them move out, and I understand that if they leave, there's a good chance they go elsewhere and they don't move into one of our swarm traps. And that is acceptable for us. We are willing to accept that because we are so fascinated by what they do that we are willing to take the chance of that risk, you know, if it means, you know, losing a few bees. But still, we have swarm traps all over the place. We still catch a lot of bees. We've got 3 swarms this year, and it's just been so easy. I don't feel I'm not losing bees to the point where I feel like I need to interfere with them by splitting or anything like that. You know, if I was struggling to hold on to them and maybe it was really difficult, then I could see myself doing it. But, you know, we've been able to grow our apiary no problem, just allowing them to do what they want to do. And it's so cool to see them swarm, and I get a kick out of it every time. So I really just enjoy watching them, and we're just going to keep letting them do that and let the bees do what the bees want to do. So remember, you can propagate your apiary through swarming. You could set up beautiful swarm traps like this and have scout bees come and check it out. These are just scouts right now. But you can come and have them check it out, and then they could be coming from one of your colonies. Scouts can come from a lot of locations, and they could be telling one of your colonies, hey, we already have somewhere to move into if we choose to swarm. So when your hive swarms, they will have a beautiful location to move into. They'll come and find it, and then you'll have a brand new colony of bees and a really nice swarm trap. And we just love it this way. It's easier for us, and it's been a lot of fun interacting with the bees this way. So now I want to give a big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much if you're a member of our Patreon, and we're just so grateful for what you do for us. And if you're not a member of our Patreon, consider joining. We've got all kinds of cool benefits for you. I'll put a link in the description. And that about wraps it up. And until next time, we'll see you soon.